Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, pal.
Evening, Jonathan. Good, thanks.
Okay, so hopefully my sound will come out of the speakers as well. Okay, get my airplane started up, I suppose.
So I finally have my sim up and running. So just a quick reminder for everyone, make sure you're on the Southeast Asia server, so you'll be able to see everyone with the name tags.
Hey, Emmanuel.
Hi, just had some issue to get the sim completely on.
It's obvious the way, isn't it?
No, it works for me. Faultlessly every time. How you doing, chaps?
Hey, Joe.
I see some wind from 289, so we're going to use runway 31 for the takeoff. I will wait for a few minutes and then we'll do the short briefing.
I'm going to get in the air and orbit the airfield to watch everybody taking off.
Evening all.
Evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
You're back flying, man.
The trouble is I keep looking at the wrong dials because they're all in different positions.
Okay, so we'll do the quick small briefing thing. So thank you all for joining today. So the flight today is in Australia. I must admit I've discovered this area roughly by chance, thanks to one of the Discovery flights which is available by default in the sim since the anniversary update. So we're going to start from Sunshine Coast and go south, basically to fly over Brisbane and then further south to Gold Coast and finishing on a small little airfield at the end. So we're on the east coast of Australia, and you will see the scenery is pretty nice over there. Not a lot of mountains, so it will change from last week in Switzerland, but a good alternate, a lot of alternate small hills and a lot of small canals and inside small rivers and things are pretty nice. As always, touch and goes at any of the airfield, or if you want to go for a full stop, no problem, do what you want, but we will do the main stop mid-flight in Brisbane. We are not going to the main international Brisbane airport, but to a smaller airfield which is just south of the city center, and basically you will see the flight plan currently goes just above the skyline of Brisbane. Just the usual precaution, if some of you are newcomers for this kind of flight, the goal here is to have fun, so if you want to go absolutely as per the procedures, feel free, but there is no problem at all. We'll just try to land in all in the same direction, so we'll give indication depending on the wind for each airfield. As this is being streamed, thanks to Jonathan, also some precaution, please keep anything you say family friendly. The goal is to have fun here, not to debate and to have a huge discussion on arguments, so no discussion about politics, no discussion about alcohol or drugs, and most important, no discussion at all about what happened yesterday evening in Qatar for the English football team.
Good. That was a good one.
That was offside, by the way.
No, the ref was playing for your team, Emmanuel.
I will not comment.
Sensible.
What happened?
Let's say the English team was not so... They had bad luck.
They did,
Let's
as
I
well
was
as they
hoping
normally...
Ronnie would make it today. He lives in the area somewhere, and I thought we might have got some tips. I know a fair bit about it because I come here often. But I'm not a local, only a visitor.
And so good point, huh? So the place we're gonna see
No.
today, I'm absolutely not familiar at all with this area on Earth, so if you have any knowledge on the area, Ronnie will probably join. But if you have been in that place, if you have anything to share or some advice, feel free. We're all here to learn a little bit also. Okay.
I have a brother-in-law that lives in a little town called Caboolture, which is, we don't actually go there on this flight, but it's in the locale. And my wife and I come over here every year or two to visit him, and we usually stay at Caloundra in a nice little apartment block on the waterfront, and it's a very, very nice area to come to. Don't come in the middle of summer, around December, January, you'll cook. You guys from the UK just wouldn't survive, I tell you. You know, temperatures in the high 30s, that's Celsius for our American friends.
We've had snow today, so...
You have been warned. Well, gentlemen, the Pub Hotel Monk's Hotel just started early this evening because he misread the article, and he thought he was going to start at 8 o'clock local time in Holland. So I'm over at Archerfield now and going to refuel. So maybe some of you will catch up on me and then we can fly together.
Yeah, no problem. We should be at
Okay.
Archerfield by within the hour normally.
I'm going to taxi out in orbit.
Okay, so the flight is not that long, so we can cruise gently at 120, just to have some good scenery, vision, and so on. So, and again, as always, if you end ahead of the pack at some of the intermediate airfield, just circle a little bit so we can stay grouped. It would be better. And especially at the end, please wait that everyone has landed before leaving. So you have more chance to see a crash for the last one, you know. And also a good pressure for the last one to land, and maybe it will be me, so we'll see.
Hotel Mike Stels over at Archerfield, turning downwind, runway 28.
Just final recommendation for the weather and time. Basically, real time and real weather is just really nice. Very few clouds, so. But again, you can choose if you prefer to go sunset or sunrise. But live weather is pretty nice.
It's a bit bumpy up here.
Yeah, it's about 8 knots wind over the airfield. It's hardly anything really.
I'm still turning base.
Okay, so our first leg will take us south. It's 165 degrees to Caloundra Airport. Okay, so that's okay. We're on time. Time to take off.
Hotel final.
This area we're going to fly over is what is referred to as the Sunshine Coast. Covers the area from Caloundra to the south, going north to Maroochydore, up in that area where we are now. Very popular holiday destination.
Yeah, some of the beaches are looking really nice. So.
Yeah. A lot of inland waterways and that sort of thing. As we fly down the coast, you'll see them. A hang of a lot of man-made canals with lots of residential areas built on the canals with all these gin palaces parked outside. I don't know where they go, because once you go off the coast, there's nothing till you hit NZ. Have to go a little bit south for that.
It's a good area to have an Icon A5 if you have the house with the little canal, so you can land your own
You'd
small
have a lot of
aircraft.
fun, wouldn't you? Have a lot of fun, wouldn't you? You might upset a few neighbours. Coming down here, I'm virtually out front of the pack, but as we come down this leg, you can see an inlet in front of us, and there is actually an island here called Bribie Island. It's basically a great big sand dune, and it's got a very long sand spit, and Caloundra is actually located at the northern end of it. It's not quite as, when I say it's not as commercialised as Maroochydore or Mooloolaba, which seem to be more popular to the holiday maker, but my wife and I prefer Caloundra. It's a little bit more laid back. It's a nice spot.
First sim freeze of the night, just as I was getting formation with somebody.
Long time no see, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
Looks like runway 30 at Caloundra, but touch and go.
Yeah, it will be touch and go. Let me just check if they have any METAR indication.
Yeah, 3105 knots. So.
Yeah, 30 would be okay.
Flying left base, you go right over the top of Caloundra. On the base leg, you'll see what I mean about the inlet here. And some lovely beaches in the area. Great cafe on the beach at King's Beach. Good place for breakfast.
You know, Alice, is that a cafe or a coffee shop?
It's both. Both. The coffee's okay in Aussie, not as good as home.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Observables out of the cockpit for about 5 minutes.
Echo Charlie Mike is turning on final, runway 30. Touch and go. A very good aviation museum at this airfield.
So if you're using runway 30 and live weather, live time, you will be just aligned with the almost a full moon in the sky. It's pretty nice.
As we head out west here, we're going to fly over an area known as the Glasshouse Mountains, and there's all these funny little pimples that jump out up off the ground. Don't run into one.
No taken.
Yeah, initially when I did the first flight in the area, I thought it was a mistake from the terraforming of MSFS, and no, it's not. These are some.
They're actually
Especially,
quite
yes.
spectacular in reality. Just these small volcanic cones. It must be millions of years old, but
So next leg direction is 240, and basically yeah, you can aim at the small triangle appearing at the distance.
On the subject of airport cafes, we discovered last week in that beautiful sunny day that we had, I think it was Thursday, that Leon Solent on the south coast of England has got a beautiful cafe who are currently doing a wonderful festive bap with every sort of turkey and sausage and stuffing and things you can possibly imagine. It's absolutely gorgeous. I must go again for another one.
big out, did you?
Yeah, it was lovely.
So that's the part of the flight where we go more inland, in the middle of the nature, but don't be frightened, we'll go back to concrete and buildings after. It's
exploring and look at there's one conical mound over here in our way, the big one. I'm going to go and have a look at it and circle it.
Following you.
I'm flat
Don't
out.
be late, Jonathan.
No, I'm going flat out across the treetops to get to it.
Same here. I think I'm going to join you.
There's one on the way as well that's got like an exposed top.
Don't look real, does it?
It's funny, whenever I fly low across treetops like this at speed, I remember the time, it was an anniversary of the RAF, I think, or of the war, when all of the Spitfires and the Hurricanes that were left came over and flew together. And I was walking home from town, I think I'd been shopping or something, and there was a flight of, I think, 2 or 3 Spitfires and a couple of Hurricanes flew over the town together. And one of them had got separated from the rest, and you heard him from a distance just open the engine up. And he must have done, well, 250 knots, the maximum they're allowed, straight across the rooftops of the town to catch up with the others to join the formation.
Put it all back in the cockpit.
Yeah, they're pretty careful with those Merlin engines. They're a discontinued line, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did wonder that, because I thought, you know, he seemed to be stressing it quite a lot. Whether it was an original engine, you never know, do you?
I think they're mostly original engines, but they've been rebored and rebored and rebored so many times that they're practically new.
I think I see a 737 coming in. That wouldn't be Joe, would it?
Nah, not me.
Smoky guy.
I can see low altitude contrail thanks to the 737.
Yeah.
You've got a contrail.
Obviously didn't check out the preamble for the flight, did he? He's going to have trouble at a couple of these airfields.
Yeah, touch and goes.
Yeah, those hills are quite strange. It looks like they are just lost one by one in the middle of.
Okay.
Hostel Archerfield, taxiing out runway 28 left.
This leg is the longer one in the flight plan. The other one are reduced.
Is anybody else waiting for the price of the 40 series graphics cards to reduce after Christmas?
I hadn't actually looked, to be honest. Just I didn't know they were going to come down.
Well, they've already dropped a bit off them, and I imagine after Christmas they might drop a fair bit more, maybe.
Crossing my fingers.
Well, nice them running fine, so I ain't gonna mend what ain't broken.
Good idea, Dave. I only run a 2070 and I don't have any problems.
I think
No.
if you go and get a 4 series card, you have to get a new power supply as well, don't you?
It depends. The 4090 is pretty hefty on power, but the 4080 is not too bad, actually.
Okay.
You'll need a power station.
You know, you need a bank loan for the money to run it.
Well, I've got a 3070 at the moment, but I'm fed up with it running at 99 and 100% all the time. It's, it does. It's not too good actually like that.
I'm using 3070, and in my case, I barely use 70% of it.
But he's David's running VR, so he's running two
Yes.
screens essentially.
Same.
Can sit here if you
I'm
can.
wrong. What headset are you using?
Reverb G2.
Well, maybe that's a different. I'm using the Rift S.
Yeah, the reverb's a lot higher resolution.
Bombs Hotel taking off for runway 28 left.
I will wait for second-hand 30, 80, something like this. People who are changing to the 400.
Yep.
But mainly due to the VR, I did a quick test. Yeah, for the screen, it's okay, but to get more clarity, there is no other chance but to increase the definition. So
This is my trouble, because I've been using a 4K monitor now for so long, it's completely spoiled me.
Yep. I've tested yesterday at max res for I have a Quest 2, so with the native resolution, which corresponds basically to 4K on each, and I got 8
Oh my
FPS.
word.
So
Wow.
I could only check that it was more, the clarity was much better, the details of the pixel zones, but 8 FPS.
Light show.
I mean, anything less than 20 FPS really isn't usable.
Yeah, clearly the sweet spot is 30 because in terms of stutter and so on, but so we'll see.
Okay, where are we then?
Going back to FSX days, I remember landing at Heathrow lots of times, about 5 or 6 frames a second. It was awful.
It's funny though, isn't it? The frame of reference changes as the hardware obviously improves. Because I remember it back in the 16-bit days, 10 frames a second was acceptable.
And there wasn't even a plane on the screen.
No, it was a few lines.
Yeah.
We take a lot for granted of what's, the advances that have been made. It's crazy, really.
If you had a look at they released a special video for the 40th anniversary, and you had the different versions of Flight Sim, and you can really see the gap in terms of either new graphics or switching to 3D and so on, and you can really see some of the games have really completely changed in terms of level of detail and so on, while the intermediate one are only small improvement, but definitely some of them have a few changes in 40 years.
Yes. I remember, I think it was Flight Sim 5 that brought the texture mapping for the first time. And that was seen as an enormous change at the time.
I think Flight Simulator 1 on the Apple II was getting about 3 frames per second.
Yeah, I started with Flight Sim 2 on the Atari ST, and that was probably about 5 or 10 a second.
Happy days with the Atari ST.
Oh yes. Waiting for the floppy disk to load.
So for the next airfield, basically the wind is almost sideways, fully. So honestly, no real preference. It's a small airfield. So I would say a runway 26 is basically in the direction we are coming from. But beware of the crosswind. I have 8 knots at the moment.
I'm going to circle the airfield and watch people coming in. So no pressure, everybody.
Alright, I'm watching you, Jonathan. I've got you in my sights.
And so the next leg will be along the big lake you have on your left. The direction will be 155.
I just went by, Jonathan.
Yep, I saw. I think I might have some of your paint on one of my wings.
I'm going to run away down the lake now.
Yeah, I'm just going to skip back round myself and come in and land.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, pal.
Oh, I've just come up alongside an old DC-3. Cheerful Llama 38.
Beautiful plane.
Yeah, lovely. Got a great bird's eye view.
So what's the heading for the next leg?
155 normally.
Well, tempting fate, but Flight Sim is behaving unusually well this evening.
Yeah, I know not to say that anymore.
It's a compensation program. They have identified you have an IP based in England. Because of yesterday.
Thank you so much.
Oh dear. Well, to be honest, our men's football team did about as well as the men's football team ever do.
Come on, you're telling me I'm Spanish, guys.
Commiserations to all.
I feel
Thanks,
sorry.
pal.
I feel sorry for the German fans.
Yeah. It would be really cool though if an African country won the World Cup for the first time.
I'm right behind Morocco now.
Yeah, it would be very cool. Okay, so next airfield, Woodford. I guess we're going for runway 36, are we?
Yeah, still some wind from 3-2, so let's go for 36.
Well, I just went the wrong way then.
So
go
both
round and do
airfields
it.
have the same name if you had a look at both name against a small city, but the second one is the Woodford Airport, while the first one was just named after the
So I'm going
was
to
Woodford.
circle it first and let, because we're getting a bit strung out, aren't we?
I'm going to come round and do it the right way this time.
Why do they always have enormous trees along the side of the runway on their approach?
They probably don't have a permit to chop them down.
What's life without a good challenge?
It's hidden 5G antennas.
Oh, is that the ones that spread the coronavirus? And then people open tinfoil shops next door to them. Okay, let's...
So next leg will be 94 degree towards Redcliffe. We're going back to the sea.
Apologies for any
Heading
break
back to
turbulence.
civilization. Everything's on the coast in Aussie. You don't have to go far inland to find the wilderness. Oh, there goes the...
The 737 just gone.
Okay. 94 degrees. For the next leg.
So this leg was made so we can tick the box. Hey, we've been in the mountains. It's the only area I found in the neighborhood with a few small hills.
There's a lovely little village up in the hills inland from Caloundra and Bribey Island area called Montville. And have a look on the map, you might find it, but lots of lovely little cafes with fantastic views looking back out to the east. Great little place to go to for a drive up in the hills.
forgot to switch ACARS on. That was clever, wasn't it? Especially now
I did.
Yeah, now I've opened up the free flight option in ACARS. It makes it perfect for the group flights.
It does too,
Forgot that
Jonathan,
too.
but I don't think I'll bother looking at the report today.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Hiya, how you doing?
Very good, Jonesy. Well, hold on, I'm just trying to see you on the map. Are you flying north to south or south to north?
North to south. We're on our way to
North to
Redcliffe.
Yeah, if
Okay,
you want to
thank you.
spawn
We're
that.
actually
I'll try
We're
and see you
actually
all
going-
spawn on you.
we're actually gone west to east at the moment.
Let me choose something interesting to fly.
Yeah, we're
It's
just
been
to,
a heli-
just to the west of Redcliffe.
Which is one of the northeast suburbs of Brisbane, of course.
I've got a friend that lives in Brisbane, and she sometimes will say what the temperature is, and it's just we can't comprehend it being that hot.
I tell you what, Jonathan, it's actually quite unbearable.
It gets very humid down there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why when we go over, we always go late August, September, but we make sure we're home again by mid-October.
Yeah.
It's the best time to go. Later in the year and going into the early part of the year, they get a lot of tropical rain. They get a lot of wet stuff and cyclones and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I was there in 2004 around this time of year, and the streets were flooded.
Because it's so damn hot up here, though, it all evaporates and everything turns brown again.
And what is the temperature in winter?
It can actually still get quite cold up here. You get up in the hills and that, and around October and that, and they actually have frost. Hard to believe, but they do. I suppose that'd be due to the big landmass, you see.
I think
They don't have nice stable temperatures like us because we're so close to have so much water around us that tends to smooth it all out.
Okay, I have you in sight.
it's funny. I'm just catching up with a PC-21, is it? The aerobatic trainer.
Hello?
I'm going flat out in a Mooney to catch up with you, but I know if you open your throttle, you're gone.
Hold my beer.
I have the throttle cracked and I'm doing 150.
Yeah, I'm flat out, just doing about 155. Just coming in on your port wing.
Don't overstress the aircraft, Jonathan.
I've got damage switched off for group flight. I never have the damage on a group flight.
Good idea.
So it will be an interesting crosswind thing at the next airfield in Redcliffe. So the less critical thing would be runway 07, but expect, I can see, 15, 16 knots wind from 350. So.
That's so funny. The multiplayer really doesn't play well with some of the more complicated airplanes. It's showing this PC-21 with all of the covers on the aircraft, all the sensor covers are hanging off of it.
It's just a maintenance mistake.
It has been known.
Oh, so that's why all my instruments are broken.
Like maybe it is linked also to the way if you have the same aircraft. I don't believe in this one. If these are some changes you can configure with a tablet in the cockpit, maybe it will produce your own settings. I don't know how it
I think it does, yeah.
It was the case with the helicopters, the H145. It was replicating all your options on the other helicopters.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a wicked crosswind. I wonder what it is at ground level. Let's have a look. So on the ground, wind is 260 degrees, 3 knots. So runway 25, I guess.
Anybody spotted the big mine on the flight path?
Mine?
Yeah, just overhead it now. If you have a look in
What was an exploded mine or the digging for gold mine?
Oh, it's in the digging for gold mine, I assume.
Oh, okay.
But it's in my live view at the moment.
It makes me laugh for some of these aviation engines that some of them, the difference between kind of 50% mixture and 100% is negligible in terms of power, but you may as well just be pouring the fuel out of the bottom of the aeroplane.
Yes, it's just off the flight path by a mile or so.
So is Archerfield to halfway?
Yes.
Good.
So possibly we're just gonna go across Brisbane now and land at Archerfield.
Miss everything?
No doubt about these Aussies. They love digging canals everywhere.
They breed mosquitoes? Maybe?
They sure do. A lot of mangroves.
So how far past this event am I? Hello.
You've got your microphone jammed on.
Not working?
Yeah, poke.
Hawk 4?
Yeah.
So I just got in here. Is the event over with?
No, we're not even halfway yet.
Okay.
So next airfield, which is halfway, is Archerfield, which is Yankee Bravo Alpha Foxtrot.
So if you want a good VFR indication for the next leg, just aim at the skyline of Brisbane.
My first trip over here was back in '87 when they had the World Expo here in Brisbane, and yeah, no, it's a nice city, Brisbane.
Past the international airport and watch the traffic.
I viewed the traffic injector the other day, FSLTL, and there was a bit of activity over here.
Yeah, Brisbane's sort of the first port of call for all the flights coming in from Asia, mainly. And all the Kiwis coming to have a holiday.
It looks like it's away from, I mean, Sydney is closer, no? Or it's the climate is better here?
6 of one, half dozen of the other, depends where you want to go. I mean, say Sydney's a great place to visit too. So's Melbourne. Been to all of them, but they're great. Wouldn't live here though.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of Kiwis come over here and live, but they're never really accepted. I don't know what it is. It's funny.
Australians don't like Kiwis.
No, and we don't like them. But then we watch each other's back. So
yeah. It's like siblings, isn't it?
It really is. It really is, Jonathan. We're like squabbling siblings.
Blame rugby for that problem.
Yep.
We always, but you go back to the Anzac thing, and that's what binds us together. And I think you'll never break that.
Oh no, it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Sure is. Those British generals just sent us all to the slaughterhouse. We won't go there.
Yeah, 1914. It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
It was. I lost 2 great uncles there on the beaches of Gallipoli. Big thing down here. I mean, to say every year, April the 25th, there's a massive pilgrimage by Aussies and Kiwis that go over there to Anzac Cove. It's quite a thing. I know Armistice Day is Poppy Day in the UK, but it was adopted for Anzac Day as well. So we get two of them.
I think I'm going to circle the city before I carry on to Archerfield. I'm going to be nosy.
It's interesting. Flight Sim, as I said earlier, has been behaving really well up until now, up until I get into the city and it starts juddering and getting black screens and all manner of stuff now.
Same thing here, man. Same thing here.
It just says your bandwidth is too low to properly stream.
Yeah, it's for the photogrammetry of Brisbane, maybe.
You need to get your neighbour to move his router closer to the wall.
What would it be, Jonathan? I don't have any of these issues.
It's bandwidth.
It's bandwidth.
Yeah.
In other words, what your internet connection?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just down to internet connection.
I must have a very good one.
Yeah, I've just turned off photogrammetry and now it's fine. It's smooth again.
Yeah.
There's not many people flying Flight Simulator in Whittianga.
Which server are we on?
Southeast Asia.
Yeah, Southeast Asia.
Okay, thank you.
As it's really, really
Getting a
cold
warning on
over
my
here.
screen. It says gaming servers are currently unavailable. Multiplayer and live air traffic services are discontinued until they start functioning again.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it shows Southeast Asia, that's what it said.
I think people are going to struggle with internet, especially as it's so cold. Everybody's out. No one's even going out to the pub anymore. They're all staying in and using the internet, especially in the tonight.
I got a ping on every single one, North Europe, everything, and it's a good ping. But Southeast Asia was showing as something like 200 billion something.
Oh, we're breaking the router.
That's a pigeon. Quicker, my pigeon.
Well, it's interesting. Having turned off photogrammetry, the vast majority of the skyscrapers in Melbourne have just disappeared.
Yes, because
I think there's only one or two are modeled in 3D, and all the other one are really directly downloaded. So
They don't actually exist, you know. They're not real. There's just a bunch of huts over there. YBAF it is, loading in. What's your ETA on this YBAF?
We're just coming on it.
I'm just straightening up to head for it now. I'm about 5 miles out, 6 miles out.
Looks like runway 28, doesn't it?
Yeah, wind on the 3132, just checking. 28 is okay. You have 28 right. And so this is our mid-flight stop at Archerfield.
They better have a good coffee shop. I haven't been here.
I'm sure it does. It'll just cost you 3 times as much being at the airfield.
It's normally the case, isn't it?
It's always the case, yes. Kind of like carnival food or at the airport, yeah. Well, when you go see a movie, they always want like, you know, $1 gazillion for the popcorn.
Don't go near the ice creams, that'll cost you double.
Well, that
Treble.
reminds me, I need to book some tickets because I've promised the kids I'll take them all to go and see Avatar next week.
Is that coming out?
Yeah, it's this next weekend I think it opens.
I've heard mixed thoughts on that one. People say it's
Waterworld,
supposed to be
isn't
good,
it?
Sorry?
Waterworld, isn't it?
No, The Way of Water.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, yeah.
But the initial reactions from the critics are that it's very, very good. So, I'll have to wait and see.
3.5 hours, though, isn't it?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
You'd be there all-
Waterworld, that's Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I'll have to go to the toilet about 5 bloody times, 3.5 hours. I'd miss half the film.
I haven't really followed the news for the movie. So Avatar is it's a new movie or it's a new version of the first one?
No, it's the new movie. It's the sequel. It's been
Do you reckon it's probably better than the original?
They do. They've already made the next one, but because of all the graphics involved, it'll be in post-production for about 2 years.
They're planning on 5, aren't they?
Something like that.
Well, the first one did so well that it's one of those things where they wonder if, can you do as well as the first one?
Well, do you reckon this new one is better?
From what I've read, they've done the wise thing. It's not the same characters having another adventure. It's kind of broadening the story. So it's their children, the people they know, things like that. So it's an entirely different story, but in the same world.
All right, now I'm seeing everybody suddenly appear on my screen. Oh boy, hello. I'm down on the airfield.
Ivy, marshal me in, look at that.
Evening all. Sorry I'm late.
Hiya, how you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Slept late.
Why didn't we land at the YBB Inn? That's so much larger.
No, the coffee's better here, I understand.
And I could not privatize the other airport. This one was okay.
This one has snacks.
One thing that you guys don't know about, big thing down here in Australia and New Zealand is the pies.
The meat pie.
The meat pies. Oh, hey, you get all sorts. You even get seafood pies, mussel pies, chicken and cranberry pies. You name it, they make it.
You guys don't call hamburger. You guys in Australia and stuff, they call it what is it called? Mince.
Oh yeah, we have mince. Yes, that's what you make your hamburger patties out of.
All right, we just call it hamburger. You guys call it mince. It's weird. Kind of friend in Australia. We were confused for a little while.
You learn to it.
Mince. What are you talking about?
It's
Okay,
great.
few
Just
minutes
ground
stop
beef.
here for everyone. So we try to take off again at 5 past the hour. That's okay.
Yep, perfect.
This is the beauty of this group, you know, we all get to educate each other.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice about it.
Right, I'm going to go and grab a coffee. Be back in a couple of minutes.
Me
See you in a
too.
minute, Scott.
And the candy bars in Australia is so different from American ones.
Yeah, they have Tim Tams, the best biscuits in the world.
Wish me luck, guys. I'm trying to acrobatic flyby upside down above the airport.
Rescue crews are standing by.
Just remember, put your gear down.
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hey, everybody.
Dave, you on channel?
Which Dave?
Hello, Dave. It's Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Your new setup looks great.
Oh, thank you. I haven't been able to fly for nearly a fortnight. Not proper, anyway.
You didn't want to buy my GTN 750 then?
I ain't got room. Yeah, I've had earache for, well, more than a week because all the mess I've been making. My earache, I've been being told off all the time.
That looks very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you use that MCP, Dave, with the fly-by-wire A320?
I've got it installed, but I got to admit I haven't flown it in 2 or 3 months. But saying that, it partially Where it is absolutely brilliant is with the PMDG, the A320. Sorry, to get it right in a minute. 737.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Even the EFIS works perfectly. You know, not just the NCP, but it's the only plane it does work with the EFIS.
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Jonathan. How you doing, mate?
Very good, thanks.
Cool.
I'm just shoving cake in my face.
But on about this MCP, you can't buy them anymore because GoFlight I don't know what's happened. You can't get no response from them. It's been like that for nearly 3 years.
Yeah, there was one on eBay the other day, went for £155.
That's pretty good. Was there about 400, something like that, when they were new?
Was it just like a little couple of people started a shop making them then, or what?
It's a proper little factory, but because I've seen pictures of the production line, you know, it's specialised, you know, obviously. Yeah. But there was at least 3 or 4 people assembling stuff. Of course, they had quite a range, but they've wrecked it. You know, what happened? The original owner sold it, and he eventually, after a couple, I don't know how many years, bought the company back again.
Right.
And he promised all sorts of, you know, things better, and it never materialised, and it went downhill. It's really sudden. But saying that, I think he was the person that bought it became rather ill. So you know, he wouldn't even reply to emails, and he had hundreds and hundreds on his website, you know, criticising him for not replying.
Okay, shall we all realign to take off? Runway 28 again. Wind has not changed a lot.
Yeah.
So we are going east. Heading will be 71. To a small airfield in Dunwich.
There you go, Jonathan. We need to start a company up producing MCPs for the 10 million flight simmers, and if we charge them £1 each, we'd be millionaires.
Might be onto something.
How's the T-shirt project going, Jonathan?
I haven't got round to looking at that. This week I should be able to get to it because work isn't so crazy. It's just been mad the last couple of weeks. So yeah, hopefully this week I'll get something up and running.
Speaking of the festive season, what's happening over the holiday period or the Christmas period?
Well, we're staying at home, so...
Most of England's on strike. So they ain't going nowhere.
I've got about 10 centimetres of snow outside.
Blimey.
We had about 1/4 of an inch this morning, and it disappeared in about 10 minutes. Well, I'm saying that it disappeared. The car's still got all icicles hanging off it.
been
Is that
snowing in Kent for the
Popping in
last hour and couple of hours.
Oh,
Dave,
okay.
have you got much? Dave, you on frequency? Have you got much?
We had about 1/4 of an inch this morning, and then it turned to rain.
Okay, I'm expecting that. I'm in Hertfordshire. I think it's coming up in a couple of hours.
I don't think we've had any forecasts, but I'm a bit closer to London. So London never usually gets it, do they, for some reason?
Well, you're west of London, though, aren't you, Jonathan?
Yeah, about half an hour west.
High Wycombe-ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oxfordshire a couple of days ago was the coldest place in the country, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. It's coming up from Kent, and then heading its way sort of upwards, right side of the London borders and across. By the look of it, swirling round.
Are we still at YBAF, or did everybody leave?
Just taking off from YBF.
Oh, suddenly everybody's gone. I was just like, I guess it's just the connection.
On our way to
We're hiding.
I'm getting away
on
from
our
the
way
airfield. Sorry, go on. I was just saying I'm getting away from the airfield so I get some frame rate back. So I'm circling to the east of the airfield.
I guess I can take off. I'm just not seeing anybody. I did see everybody, but now I don't. So I was just like, what, they all run off
it's
without
like
me?
it's like rats leaving a ship when they leave.
I think it's just the simulator for some reason. Everybody disappeared.
Careful, William out there buzzing around in his DC-3.
Yeah, just thought I'd maybe introduce a procedural word, Jonathan, if you're happy with that.
Yep.
Just call it scramble.
How's your meteorite shop going, Joe?
Oh, it's very quiet. It's a very specialist shop, you see.
The thing that struck me looking at your pictures of your meteorites, how did you come to have them?
I buy them from other meteorite
Is it
dealer.
your collection that you're selling on then?
Yeah, because I used to do talks, but COVID killed all that off. So really, the meteorites were to talk about when it was lashing down with rain and blowing a gale, and we couldn't make any observations.
Oh, I see.
So really just time fillers. But people used to ask me, oh well, I want to get that one for me nephew Johnny. You know, they used to open the purse. You know, I said, okay, that's £400 for that one. They're like, £400.
Yeah, you could always say to them, you could always go and spend the 200 million to hire a rocket to get to Mars and go fetch one.
Well, and there is that.
It's probably cost a lot more than that, actually. It's probably in the billions, isn't it?
Oh, well, it would be in the billions. But it's quite funny because you used to get into this kind of silly discussions with people. Oh, how do I know it's from Mars? And I says, well, you don't. And I says, I don't. It's all on faith.
Yeah. Based on everything we know about the makeup of rocks, this isn't from here.
Well, yes.
You can tell that by the little green men in it.
That's the one. Oh, is that somebody in another big aircraft I see taking off? Just
747 UPS.
I have to say thank you for last week, Joe. That was really refreshing for me. I've never done that before. Brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Please,
Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah.
Was it the ATC session that we did?
Yeah, enjoyable.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Yeah. We'll have to twist Joe's arm to do another one.
Yeah, Pat did a marvellous job. I was running 6 towers in one time at one point.
Yeah, between the two of you handled a lot of airplanes, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, that looks a nice stall turn in that 747.
And there's something you don't hear very often.
Oh no, he's managing the turn, levelling off.
It's got handbrake.
I've just got a Mimi live view at the moment. Well, if he puts his foot down, I'll be able to catch him. Got a bit more thrust than I. Having said that, got the throttle off. At full power.
This island we're flying out to is North Stradbroke. Well, no, it is North Stradbroke.
It is, yes.
Another big sand dune.
So in terms of VFR, if you want, you can aim to the small island in the middle called Peel Island, and the city just before is Cleveland. It's really nice with small canals, and, really beautiful.
I've actually been there. My brother's best mate lived there for many, many years in Cleveland. Yeah, it's nice.
As an American, hearing the words Cleveland and nice city in the same sentence is unusual.
Like, he lived in Chicago. It was awesome.
Windy City.
Runway 33 on this occasion, guys, I think.
Looks like it.
Yeah, still some wind.
Like that same ping again for South Asia. Afraid my internet just does not like that server.
So what's everybody been flying in the simulator the last few weeks?
I'm like slipped.
RV7, RV14, the Beaver.
Gliders, they're great fun.
I've not
Oh,
touched them
yeah.
yet.
Yes, they are.
That
I went
was
solo in gliders. Never flew a powered aeroplane, but I went solo in gliders.
That was funny. The other night I was watching a film and they got in this little airplane and I said to me, Mrs., that's a beaver. I said, I got one of them. And she said, you're a sad old fart.
I'm loving the beaver.
I got my own beaver. Yes, you do, you dirty old man.
Yeah, the gliders are really good fun though, you know, trying to find the thermals and seeing how long you can stay up for and all that sort of thing.
Is it difficult in multiplayer? Do the winds stay the same for each player?
I've no idea.
I haven't flown a glider since FSX.
For
Haven't tried
2020,
it
they're
here.
very good gliders to find on Flight Sim TO, especially the LS4 and the K7. They're pretty good.
Gonna pick the land on the windward side of hills, haven't you? Get that lift. You
Yep.
can fly forever then.
We'll just go slope, sorry.
Yeah, exactly that.
The AS-33 glider is another good one. It's very heavily instrumented, plus positive and negative flaps. Yeah, it's pretty advanced.
Going on about what planes we've been flying. I've been flying sawdust.
In fact, was your plane not a record, Dave? Some people won't get that.
Yeah, a record plane, yeah. If I said Stanley, they might understand.
That's true.
Black and Decker.
Ah, crap.
Peel Island.
Do you ever do flight sessions with gliders or not?
We've never tried it.
So put that on the list.
Yep, maybe we should do it.
Nice.
Who likes flying gliders?
I'll do the tow plane.
I love flying in gliders.
Okay, it's down to you then. You can sort the next one out.
It's my first flight here. Come on, mate.
It's okay. In at the deep end.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we might get a nice flight then with gliders at the Noordwijkfield in Holland. You're not allowed over 450 meters, so see how far you get.
That's quite a big wingspan.
No altitude. It's always a challenge there. Due to Schiphol.
Yeah, I was going to say it. I guess half the fun with organising something will be doing some research of where a good glider field is.
Well, you need mountains and wind and updrafts and things like that.
There's a lot along the mountain edge in north of Italy, isn't there? There's a lot of glider fields up there.
Well, Innsbruck, there's some excellent flying to be done in Innsbruck. Just based there.
No, I used to fly at Noordwijk. And we're not allowed to fly over 450 meters. So it's always a challenge to stay up as long as you can.
Oh, just an update, weather-wise, Jonathan, it's Hertfordshire, it's snowing now.
Crikey, so we might have some snow by the morning then.
Oh, here in Kent, it's about 3 inches thick already.
Yeah, it's coming around, it's definitely there. Right, I'm walking to work in the morning then.
In fact, a friend of mine just texted me to say that he's had to abandon his car in Tunbridge Wells because he was driving from Orpington down to Lewis, and by the time he got to Tunbridge Wells, the roads were just solid, compacted ice, and everyone was abandoning their cars, so he's gone to stay in a hotel.
Oh, I suppose it's coming down quick on really frozen ground.
Yeah, it is.
Settling like lightning, probably.
Yep. I can't get back in my aircraft. The cat walked all over it, and I'm about 300 meters to the right of my aircraft, and I can see it to my left. I can't get in it. I'm sort of Supermaning by the side of it. I can't get in.
VR?
Yeah.
Spacebar.
My spacebar is set to active pause. Don't listen, Jonathan. I know you don't like it. He's yeah, I'll figure it out in a minute. I'll just hit every key until something goes wrong.
I did use active pause once, and the aircraft ran out of fuel while I was in pause.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, because the aircraft keeps running while it's frozen in the air. So you can flatten the batteries, you can run out of fuel, and then half of them, when you come out of active pause, the sim doesn't work right ever again until you restart it. The factory ones, the Asobo planes, are fine with it, but the others are a lottery.
I know what's wrong now. That's right. Yeah. Direction arrow. One of the arrow direction keys was pressed in.
Sim's frozen.
It's all the
Nice
cat's.
little airfield.
All the cat's fault. again.
So next leg will go south and heading is 186 to Heckfield Airport.
Simulator has encountered an error. Lovely.
Ooh.
A bit windy, yeah?
Hotel Mike Zero Hotels inbound Nobby's Creek to land, full stop, runway 36, left hand circuit.
There's a pretty cool reef the other side of the ridge from the runway. It's underneath the water.
Coral reefs.
More likely a sandbank, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's sandbanks, I think.
It is.
Are most people using 172s right now?
No, I'm in a Mooney. But there's all sorts of things. There's a 737 in amongst everybody.
Still getting the red.
Anything
Still
to do
getting
on
the red window.
I saw a DC-3 earlier as well. So.
Asked him twice.
I'm still getting a big red arrow on my screen that says gaming servers are unavailable. I am logged into Microsoft.
Yeah, I had that earlier for a few minutes, but it unlocked itself. It's very strange.
I noticed there was a Stoll 750 update earlier on. Don't know if you got that.
Which plane, sorry?
Your Stoll 750.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think there was. I did read about a few hours ago. There's one.
SC Orbex have released Santa and his sleigh, haven't they?
Oh God!
I updated Navigraph earlier. I don't know if anybody's spotted that.
No, not yet.
Yeah, 2012.
So wait, maybe we should do the Christmas flight. If the Santa sleigh is free, everybody have Santa sleighs.
Has it got an autopilot?
Formation.
Yeah.
That's how he delivers so many.
So do you rate the engine in reindeer power instead of horsepower? Okay, let's...
Graceful, really. I wouldn't dare.
So Heckfield next.
Actually, beautiful sandbanks if you look underneath here.
Runway 36, guys. I'm coming back to join you. I was ripping out in front.
Yeah, the sandbanks are quite something, aren't they?
Oh, they are. I tell you what, as we've said many a time, Jonathan, the sim is amazing because this is just what it looks like. It is. It's just amazing.
So have you had the moment yet, Ellis, where you've called your other half in to look on the screen at your local, your neighbourhood on the simulator, and then she says, well, why don't you look out the bloody window?
Yeah, no, she swears she's never coming flying with me.
Is that the standing joke? So go on.
I always regret I didn't get my pilot's license, but I'm too old now. But I think this is a little bit safer and a lot less expensive.
It is.
Well, actually, there's a near me, about 3 or 4, maybe 4 miles away from me. There's a place called Northall, which is near Potters Bar, Enfield Way, and it's where our bike club do the enduro events, the off-road motorcycle events. and it's the track is pretty much ingrained into the land. We've been riding there for about 6 years, and they've actually got me. You can see from the satellite because it's got me and my big orange bike, because it was a big 900cc that I used to travel around on, and you can actually see that as you fly over it. So you can actually see my motorcycle as you fly over Northaw and the sim. It's really weird. I can tell exactly what day, date, and year that was taken. It's really, you can't see me, but you can see the bike.
Was that taken a long time ago then?
It was 2018, July the 7th, I think, on a Sunday.
Gosh, so the scenery is that old on the big...
Well, it changes on Bing, doesn't it? Some of it's newer, some of it's older. But that was definitely 2018. On a Sunday afternoon at about 3 o'clock. Because I could tell how much traffic was there. No, yeah, I can tell by the amount of cars and vans, and the fact that a certain person's extended long wheelbase RV thing, which is about 400 foot long, wasn't there, and he left at 2:45, and it's not there because you can see that thing from space anyway. It's massive. So I know it was after 2:45. It's really strange, and see the outlines of sheep on the grass as well. It's really weird, and that's 3 minutes from home. My home looks nothing like it is. In fact, this sim version looks a lot better than mine.
Dude, you need to cut your lawn.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. And there's an aircraft as well on the road called the A414 that leads to Hemel Hempstead, and right as the satellite's gone across, it's caught one of the aircraft that's coming from Luton, and it looks as if the aircraft has crashed off the side of the road. It's two jets, that's a 320. So it looks as if the aircraft has actually crashed into the side of the road, and it's just where the satellite's gone over and caught the aircraft underneath it. It's very strange. What's going on here? There's a lot of people going in circles. Is there a... Oh yeah, I see it. I was right below me, so I couldn't see it.
Yeah, it's...
I'm using it to do orbits to stop getting too far in front.
Needs a little bit of planning to do a safe touch and go on this one.
Yeah, it's not the safest one.
I want to see the 737 do it.
It's not even a challenge for him.
It would be at 300 knots.
No, it's just at 300 knots. It's just an inconvenience. Sit down on the runway and it's just like you come past crop spraying. There's that much fog.
Yeah, many people here have fog over the last day or so.
Yep.
It's been foggy all day until it started snowing about 2 hours ago, and now we're covered in the stuff.
Oh, I haven't seen any fog. In fact, it was lovely and sunny this afternoon.
Yeah, the white stuff's just started coming down here.
Do we all know about Santa's check ride?
No.
No. Well, apparently in the States, every year he has to do a check ride because obviously he hasn't flown for so long. True story. So anyway, he turns up to do his check ride, you know, with the appropriate half a dozen reindeer.
I wish I...
To cut a long story short, as he gets into the examiner says, well, you know, standard kind of thing, you know, we'll do the usual kind of tests. And he says, it won't take very long at all. So he says, fair enough. So Santa gets in this sleigh, and he notices the examiner is put on a very long trench coat, and out of the bottom of his trench coat he spots the barrels of a shotgun. And he says, what are you doing with that? And he says, well, I'm sorry, Santa, I'm not supposed to tell you, but you're going to have an engine failure on takeoff.
Very good.
Oh, do you remember that one?
Boom, boom.
Yeah, both barrels.
Report you to the RSPCA.
That's awesome.
So heading 158 for the next one, Southport.
They had the Christmas market was in town the other week, and there was some reindeer there for a farm that had brought them along for the kids to go and look at. And the guy that was looking after the reindeer was educating the kids about the reindeer. And I'd never realised this before, but given that Santa's sleigh is always depicted with the reindeer having antlers, the only reindeer that have antlers at that time of the year are female reindeer. Therefore, all of the reindeer on Santa's sleigh are female.
I'm just waiting for Dave to go about how they actually don't get lost. I'll beat you to it, Dave.
I was amazed though, well, I've seen reindeer before, so I wasn't so surprised this time, but I've always been surprised how small they are. You kind of, I guess in your head you see them the size of a deer or a moose or something like that, but they're nowhere near.
No.
They're a bit
Moose.
bigger,
Oh
they're
my
a bit
God.
bigger than a big dog.
Well, they're smaller than a donkey, aren't
Yeah,
they?
a lot smaller. They're a bit bigger than the Great Dane. That's probably the size you could liken them to.
So if you have the boats and marina add-ons, just looking at the scenery now, this is where it gets really, really beautiful with all the canals and all the small houses. And you will have the skyline of Gold Coast in front of us.
Golf course.
Paddy Town.
Gentlemen, I have to call it a night for today. Thank you for setting up this night network. I really enjoyed this first flight for me, and I hope to see you again next time.
Cool. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Take care. Yeah, bye.
So I'm just looking. Oh, I can see the airfield.
So the next airfield is in the middle of the forest.
Yeah, it's quite easy to see.
What is the city to our left, Emmanuel?
Southport.
Thank you.
Like a borough, really. It's not a city. It's just part of the Gold Coast. Is actually a city in its own right. Southport, Labrador, Bigra Waters, Runaway Bay. They're all like suburbs of Gold Coast.
It's impressive, right on the bay itself. It's very New York.
Got some
But with
massive
class.
skyscrapers down here on the Gold Coast. They're actually
Nice crosswind.
Yeah, a lot of wind here.
Yeah, this is like
How you doing, Emmanuel?
spectacular.
So we'll go runway 01 on Southport due to the interesting wind here.
It's right across the runway.
My bonanza is shaking in every possible direction.
Fly left downwind. It's crosswind, isn't it? The runway.
Oh, I wonder why it was so choppy. I've still got my gear down.
Hello, hi, all of you. Redcliffe.
Sorry, it sounds like you're on the moon.
Is it a robotic sound?
Oh, that's not ended well. That's what you get for landing at like 5 FPS.
Oh, why am I seeing all that smoke out your 737? You got a problem?
Crop spraying.
I can't see anything.
It's the chemtrail, yeah.
Yeah, they've implemented the chemtrail, but it doesn't matter what height you're at. It's just always there.
Well, I can't see it, unfortunately.
It doesn't start at a certain altitude.
It's because you're inside.
I'm outside at the moment.
This looks like a lovely place around here. Coast scenery's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm flying over to have a look at the city.
The posh golf courses.
God, that wind is chucking me about.
It's a real party town, guys. All the way down here, all the way to Coolangatta, Tweed Heads, lovely area, but very commercialised.
All those midnight coffee shops, eh?
And the casinos and those other places when you're younger. Plenty of those.
Those were the days.
Oh, well, I found the hospital with the helipad anyway.
There's some pretty big skyscrapers down here on the coast.
What's the airport identifier, guys?
We're just coming out of
Yankee Bravo, Charlie Golf.
Yeah, Yankee Bravo, Charlie Golf, Gold Coast.
This airport, yeah, it's now an international airport.
Speedway
as well. The flights from New Zealand fly into Coolangatta rather than Brisbane. It's closer to the Gold Coast than Brisbane. The Gold Coast is in by car is about an hour and a quarter, hour and 20-minute drive up the highway to Brisbane.
Well, that was fun.
So if you want to try slalom between the buildings, it can be done. It's pretty fun.
Just doing so.
The trees are photogrammic, so therefore, if you try and go through them on the approach, you hit them.
Yeah, I had a crash, I think, last week because I was coming in and I hit just the top of a tree that was right at the end of the airstrip.
Yeah.
I just flew over to SeaWorld, big theme park.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I'm flying down the beach. I'm trying to find the apartment block that my brother-in-law's brother owned the whole 6th floor. It's more down here somewhere. Very accurate, I tell you. There it is, right there. That one. I was actually in it the day Princess Diana was tragically killed in that bad accident. His name's John too, Jonathan.
following.
Very kind of him to let us use it.
Just following the main road up through the city.
Jupiter Casino's down here somewhere. That's it over there, I think.
The horse breath racing track.
Most of the house have swimming pool here, also not only access to the sea, but also a swimming pool.
That's because there's things that bite you in the ocean up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tend to bite you in half, don't they?
Yeah.
Good point.
That's why they have swimming pools. And you don't go swimming in the canals up here.
Because of the
I
crocodiles.
think we're gonna need. I think we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Crocodiles eat boats.
Don't have crocodiles down this far. You've got to go further north for them.
Yeah, the jellyfish killed all the crocodiles.
Well, the biggest jellyfish I ever saw, I was diving off outside Foy in Cornwall, and this one floated by me, and I'm not kidding, it was 3 foot diameter, and I don't know how long the tentacles were. I didn't stay to look. It was bigger than a dustbin.
Probably nothing to worry about. I think it's the little ones you have to worry about, isn't it? And the black Portuguese man of all, but the little ones.
Yeah, box jellyfish, most dangerous.
And that little blue ring octopus.
So we
Welcome
take
to
runway
Caloundra.
32 in Gold Coast, and then there will be the final leg.
Oh, I can't wait for Miami flight. It's a bit of Miami Vice.
It's been the most enjoyable flight, Emmanuel. Thank you. And the commentary from Ellis, brilliant.
Coolangatta's a cool place, say. It's one of my... I quite like it down here. I nearly bought a timeshare here many years ago. Right out there on that point to the left there. They really did a hard sell job on us. I'm glad I didn't, because apparently the timeshare system becomes a real liability. They keep wanting to charge you more money, apparently.
Yeah, died of death here with people trying to sell your properties in Spain.
Yeah, I suppose you have the same sort of thing up there. Well, that's
Beautifully
where we
detailed.
learned everything from.
Photogrammetry is really well done here.
It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it puts London to absolute shame. Complete and utter abysmal piece of rubbish.
The gentleman that wants to fly guiders, come down to NZ. There's an airfield, a gliding airfield in the South Island called the Marama. They put oxygen in their gliders and fly up over Mount Cook. So they go higher, what, 12,000 feet?
Crikey, that'd be good.
I think Richie McCaw, you know, the All Black flanker, now retired, he's a private pilot. He flies gliders and helicopters. I think he's done some videos flying gliders over Mount Cook. You go hunting for them. They actually hold big international gliding competitions there. Coming in left base, November Zulu, Echo Charlie Mike, about to turn on final. And I'm about to fly right over the boundary.
So the final leg heading is 219. You will have to spot the small airfield. It's a little less visible than this airport.
Useless information. I'm in New South Wales, about to cross the border, just as I touch down on the end of the runway. Two hours behind NZ here. I'm very shortly going to become 3 hours, like just about right now.
No, let me talk to my friends. Among all the pilots are here, is there any person who is fond of playing cricket?
Yeah, but we always lose, so we sort of get put off cricket quite a lot.
Actually,
you've been doing all right lately.
Actually, nowadays the England cricket team is visiting in Pakistan and playing the second test against Pakistan.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I am from Pakistan, from Faisalabad, and I am an ex-international hockey player. And
I do remember you.
Also a pilot, retired from Pakistan Air Force.
I remember you from 2 weeks ago.
I'm going to say good night. Good night, chaps. Thanks, Emmanuel. I'll see you soon.
Yeah,
You're
see you
welcome.
later.
Thank you for joining.
See you soon, Lee.
No. Cheers. Bye, everyone. Good night. Take care. Have a good week.
Good deals.
But glad you all came down here this weekend, because this end of the world's about to shut down for Christmas. And I mean, it literally shuts down.
Really?
Everybody disappears. Except for hospitality, of course.
Where do they go?
The aliens came and
Holiday.
What, somewhere cooler?
That's a good question, actually. Where do you...
Do they go to the beaches or abroad?
many broads as
A
possible.
bit of both, I think. Bit of both, but where I live, our population swells by hundreds of thousands over the Christmas period, because it's one of the go-to areas, the Coromandel Peninsula.
Right.
So half of Auckland disappears down there. The other half go north to the Bay of Islands and up round that way.
It's interesting, isn't it? Different countries have different kind of other countries that their population tends to go to for holidays. It's very odd.
Well, we don't have many choices. It's either the islands of the Pacific or Aussie, unless you want to go further afield.
Yeah.
Bali, Singapore, and common places to go.
I'd like to see Singapore.
Hawaii.
I'd love to see-
Oh, Singapore's awesome. I've been there a couple of times.
I think it just looks. I know it looks expensive, but it just looks. I don't know. It's got something about it that's.
I was in the airport, so I served there for a year and a half. So I actually lived there for a year and a half. But that was back in the 60s when it was, God, you've no idea what it was like then. It was just a cesspit. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew came along while I was there. And man, oh man, the difference he made.
Yeah, I can understand the cesspit. I've been to Wolverhampton, so I'm comparing it to that.
Yeah, these days it's a very clean, very smart, very well organised place.
It does look good, yeah.
Don't step out of line.
Is anyone else getting this horrific turbulence over these hills?
Yeah. Crazy crosswinds here. It's crazy.
I'm on finals and battling against them. And I'm coming in on runway 36.
Just having a look. The wind, oh yeah, it's 25 knot winds. That's why.
Trying to turn me upside down.
It's all Joe. It's Joe's fault. He did it.
I'm miles away.
Yeah, well, you passed through. It's still got wake turbulence from that thing.
Oh, I'm not at that distance, man. It's only 4 miles. You're miles away.
Yeah, he came from Mark 4.
I guess this is the wake turbulence of the Earth.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, that mountain makes a very good VRP to line up for a final.
I think if I want to score good on A-cars, Jonathan, I better turn the weather off.
That's a good point, actually. Does it? I've never looked into it. Does it just count the final landing?
I think so, right?
So if you do
Put
make a
all the
hash of it,
airfield.
if you know you've made a hash of it, all you have to do then is go around.
Abort the flight and start again.
No, just if you know you've done a heavy landing, just go around and have another crack at it if you've got the fuel.
In the winds.
Let me ask a
I don't
question to Jonathan, please. Jonathan, you have any experience to go visit the UAE?
Nope, never been over there.
What was that, the UAE?
Yeah. Several
no,
of my friends have
not
worked
quite.
over there.
No, actually, you was discussing about to spend the holidays in where is the better place?
Looks expensive, but then again, so I would imagine Singapore's quite expensive too.
Well, we find it's on a par with us here. Dollars are worth about the same, so...
This is probably a difficult conversation to have, but that part of the world, a lot of people from Europe don't go there because of all the restrictions on what you can do, what you can wear, what you can say. And for that very reason, very few people from Europe will go there for fun.
What, to Singapore?
No, for the Arabic countries.
Oh, yeah, right. Except Dubai, of course.
Well, yeah, but
apart from Dubai,
they're typically so restrictive that a lot of people won't go for that particular reason, which is a shame, I think. But...
Same from down here, Jonathan. A lot of people won't go there.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's just the only really time I got to travel to see hot countries and places like that, the locals were shooting at you.
That's because they had nothing better to do.
It depends what's going on in the country at the time as well, doesn't it?
Well, they weren't just shooting at me.
Oh, crikey, this airfield's difficult, isn't it?
Is that Patrick I just see land? It's in my air.
Ah, you see? Fooled you.
Oh, right.
No, just put his livery on tonight.
Oh, right.
Interesting trees just before the runway, as always.
Yeah. They force a higher altitude approach than you would like, don't they?
They have a specialist that goes through every airport and just does them.
That DC-3 just come in. There's Linden, the right way up.
I'm going to hide underneath Joe's
on the runway.
think there should be a YouTube series called The Annoying Arborist about a guy that goes and plants trees at the ends of the
That would be brilliant.
I'll bring my chainsaw and my chipper and get rid of it.
Do you think he visits the flying club first, and if he doesn't like them or they have a go at him, he goes out there in the night with his kit?
Very stealthy, yes.
He's got a long trailer with ready grown trees, and he actually plants them, fully grown.
I've seen that in China when I was for work in Xiamen, and the city was welcoming some of the Asian multi-country big meeting, and they were preparing the city to look good. So they were planting trees that were already like 20 meter high. They were just bringing there were trucks all over the place, bringing trees already grown up, just to put more trees in the city. Crazy.
There was when I used to work from an office, somebody bought the estate where the office was and turned most of it. It was a country estate, but they turned it back into kind of a private dwelling. And where it had kind of these big rolling rolling banks onto the river, turned it into sculpted kind of gardens. And yeah, one day maybe 7 or 8 articulated lorries turned up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fully grown trees on them. We just couldn't believe our eyes. Fir trees, all kinds of trees. But they were, some of them were 20, 30, 40 feet tall once they were planted. It was absolutely unbelievable.
There's quite an expense there. They're expensive in old tree.
Well, I remember reading an article when Apple built their new offices. They moved a lot of trees in. They had a farm going for several years growing the trees, and they moved them in to surround the offices, and they built special machinery that cut like a hemisphere out of the ground underneath the tree and lifted it up bodily onto a truck.
Yeah, impressive. Yeah, it takes the whole root bowl, doesn't it? Yeah.
But literally, it was kind of a 20-foot hemisphere of dirt that it kept with the tree. It was amazing.
It's funny. Back in 1986, I was only a teenager. I was doing a bit of cash and hand work. My friend, his dad was a set designer, and they were in Docklands doing the set for Full Metal Jacket on the Docklands. And I spent 2 weeks planting coconut trees and palm trees all around the sets. Must have planted 300 trees, trees. But we planted the whole lot, and we only took about half of them out because we just couldn't be bothered, and we left half of them there. And I remember on the news about 12-13 months later on, there was a little feature on the news about the weirdness of these palm trees growing in London's Docklands area, and no one could figure out why there were coconut trees growing everywhere. We must have put 300 in and only took about 120 out.
That's amazing.
Because it was just hard work. They're hard work doing those. Good fun though.
Thank you, gentlemen. See you next week.
Cool. See you soon.
See you soon.
Yeah, see ya.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Emmanuel.
Lovely flight.
Yeah, this
Beautiful
is
area.
Thank
you.
Thanks for the flight.
Yeah. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Cool. Right, I'm going to stop the live stream.